Utah is one of the most conservative states in America. The western state of 3 million people is home to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The Mormons, as church members are known, moved to the sparsely populated region in the 19th century to escape the persecution they suffered in the northeast of the country. Nestled between Nevada, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, and Arizona, the state is famous for its expansive mountain ranges and spectacular parks.
I'm standing here in Arches National Park, one of the main attractions in a state that draws more than 20 million tourists a year. But this year, in the run-up to the presidential election, an unusual group of visitors is coming to this state.
In most presidential elections, Utah does not appear on the radar. But Hillary Clinton and the Democrats sense an opening in the state because of mounting concerns about Donald Trump over his divisive rhetoric, something that many Utah Republicans believe is unbecoming for someone asking to be their president and commander-in-chief. When the Democratic Party recently brought its Forward Together bus tour to Salt Lake City, Ben McAdams, the mayor of Salt Lake City County and the highest-ranking Democrat in Utah, was one of the people who greeted them.
We have a history, and I think it's still in the public conscience, of being a minority group that was marginalized and discriminated against. Part of the reason that Mormons left the East and migrated to the West was to be able to get away from discrimination and violence against us as a group. And so I think we do have this public consciousness and sensitivity to discrimination of any kind. So when Trump speaks out against Muslims or speaks out against women, speaks out against any faith group, that really is something that we have a visceral reaction against that.
While Clinton hopes to turn Utah into a blue or Democratic state, the biggest beneficiary of the antipathy towards Trump is Evan McMullin, a little-known former CIA covert operative who is running as an independent candidate. A former Mormon missionary who also had a short stint as a Goldman Sachs banker, McMullin jumped into the race to offer an alternative to Trump, someone with traditional conservative values who could also challenge Clinton.
I'm strongly opposed to Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. I think they're both terribly corrupt and self-serving people who I don't think are fit for the responsibilities that they seek. Donald Trump, I believe, poses a threat to our democracy in his allegiance to Vladimir Putin and appreciation for other authoritarians and dictators. I think he is one of them, in fact.
Shortly after we met, McMullin and his running mate, Mindy Finn, went to Weber State University, where they spoke to students, faculty and local residents who were curious to learn more about the man who could end up snatching the state from Trump and Clinton.
I haven't run for president before, and I haven't run for office before, in fact, but that's because I've been busy doing the work of our nation. I'm the one that stepped forward after 9/11 to do the difficult things that needed to be done to keep our nation safe. I worked with the military. I managed some of the country's most sensitive projects and programs to take al-Qaeda operatives and leaders off the battlefield. I know what that takes. I worked with law enforcement here in the United States. I reported back at a very high level to the U.S. government on what I was doing, including the president himself.
In Utah, at least, his message is resonating. Polls show the babyface McMullin nipping at the heels of Trump and moving further ahead of Clinton. His message appeared to go down well with most of the audience.
Before Evan McMullin came along, everything seemed kind of bleak for our country, and I feel like he's kind of brought this new excitement, and I feel like I can have someone to be proud of, and be proud of our country again, because it's been a little embarrassing for the past few years.
I think that there's some people that are willing to say, hey, why don't we try something new? And so I think there's a lot of interest in that, yeah.
If Hillary Clinton wins Utah, it will be the first time the state has voted for a Democratic candidate since 1964, when Lyndon B. Johnson beat Barry Goldwater in one of the biggest landslides in American history. If McMullin takes Utah, it will be the first time a third-party candidate has won a state since George Wallace in 1968. A huge achievement that would underscore just how unpopular Trump and Clinton are. For now, Utah remains way too close to call. But if McMullin won and ended up denying Trump and Clinton the 270 electoral college votes that are needed to win the White House, it would be a dramatic climax to a race that has already radically changed American politics. Demetri Sevastopulo,